Hi there, it's the fourth Sunday in Lent, and I thought I'd share a short video reflection looking at the scriptures that have been suggested for churches to read today. But before we have a look at the scripture, I thought it'd be good to just stop and take a moment to pay attention to how we are as we're approaching the scripture. And if you find it helpful for your concentration, you might want to close your eyes while you do it. And I just want to invite you to pay attention to what's on your mind, the thoughts that you're carrying in your head, thoughts that are moving around in your head. And also take some time to notice what you're carrying on your heart, feelings and emotions that are sitting there. And I invite you to pay attention to what you're experiencing in the whole of your body. And lastly, I want to invite you to be aware of the other creatures that are around you. It might be trees or other plants, or it might be birds like the corellas that are in the trees here, and the crows that have been cawing, magpies that have been singing, or it might be other people. It might be cars, if we think that cars are creatures maybe. However you are this morning as you approach the scripture, you're welcome to bring the whole of your experience. You're welcome to bring what's on your mind. You're welcome to bring what's on your heart. You're welcome to bring your bodily experience. And you're welcome to bring the connections and disconnections that you have with the creatures around you. Now, the scriptures that have been suggested for today are from the Jewish scripture in the book of Numbers, chapter 21, verse 4 to 9. And when I say the book of Numbers, that's what it's called in English, but in Hebrew, it's called In the Desert. And I think that gives us a bit more of an idea of what's going on in the story, because it's all about the people of Israel wandering in the desert. When we call it the book of Numbers, it sounds a little bit dull, but there is actually a story to it. And the gospel reading is from John's Gospel, chapter 3, verse 14 to 21. So feel free to pause the video and have a read of those and then start the video up again. I wonder how you feel about snakes. Have you ever been in the wilderness or been in the bush and come across a snake? What was your instinct? What did you do when you saw it? Did you freeze? Or did you slowly move away? Or did you make a loud noise and frighten it? Try to frighten it away? In our society, we see snakes as dangerous and sinister. We've associated with them with the devil. In the Jewish scripture reading, it is God who sends the snakes. God sends snakes because the people of Israel have complained against Moses and complained against God. And the snakes bite the people and many of them die. This might not fit with how we see God, but this is how this particular story about God is being told. Not everybody agreed with this idea, but there was a belief that God was in control of everything. So if you had a disaster, like a fire or like a pandemic or a flood or a snake attack, you'd have to agree that God was responsible, that God was behind it, that God sent the snakes. But that is not the only way that God is understood in the scripture. But in this story, God tells Moses to make a bronze snake and lift it up on a pole so that people can look at it. And if they face that danger, if they look at it, God will heal them of snake bite. The devil has often been associated with snakes, but I wonder, do you think that Jesus could be like a snake? The snake, it's regenerated. It sheds its skin and it becomes a sparkling new creature with fresh scales, just as Jesus is resurrected. in the bush, the snake appears and then it disappears down a hole. It appears to have just vanished. Very mysterious. It travels freely between the underworld and the world of the living. And a snake's venom is used to make the antidote to its bite. And so the snake has become a symbol for medicine. You might have seen a symbol of a snake or two snakes wrapped around a pole. It's been used as a symbol for medicine. So that which has been a danger and that which has been a source of fear has become a symbol of healing and medicine and hope. We might not immediately think that Jesus is like a snake, but one of the things that it says in the creeds of the church is that Jesus descended to the dead or descended into hell and then returned to the world of the living, just like the snake appears to move between the underworld and the world of the living. And because of that, the cross, which was a symbol of fear and death as well, has become a symbol of hope and new life and healing. It no longer has the power of death.